Well, the Consumer Goods Forum brings together the leaders of the consumer goods and the retail industries. As Bain & Company, we find it only natural to join this forum because consumer goods and retail are the biggest contributor to our firm's business. And we have the chance, actually, of working with many of the companies that are present here. We want to continue to provide them with innovative solutions that sustain their profitable growth over time. So we expect to contribute to the dialogue, both at the forum and beyond. This is a very disorientating time for retail indeed. It all comes from the changing consumer expectations and the exploding demands they have. And it's not going to stop anytime soon. So at Bain, we ran the numbers, and we believe that the changes that are coming to retail will lead us to a world where potentially a third of the total profits of both the retail and the consumer goods industries will be at risk over the next 5 years. Well, when we look at the world of retail, we believe that retailers are falling into one of 7 archetypes, 2 of which will not survive. At one extreme of the spectrum, you have companies that are incumbents, that are trying to survive. They have difficulties running the business and changing the business at the same time. They lack the financial freedom and the capabilities to do that in a very effective way. So usually what they do is they protect the short-term profits by cutting stores, reducing service, but we know where that ends, usually in consolidation or in failure. And unfortunately, up to 1/3 of all retailers might fall into this category. At the other extreme, you're seeing the emergence of very large ecosystems, the Amazons, the Alibabas, the Tencent of the world, and you see more of these ecosystems emerging in different countries. These guys are very large. They actually invest in technology. They out-invest the largest retailers by a factor of 6. They accumulate massive amounts of customer data and create sticky shopping experiences with that. In the middle, you have all sorts of things. You have value contenders, companies that are really doubling down on being lowest cost and returning this performance to the consumers. They actually don't care about the rest. They just do, cost and value. You have companies that have great product design, great capabilities, but are too small. So that what they do, they hitchhike on the scale of someone else, of an ecosystem, etc. So you have brands that are partnering with an Amazon or an Alibaba to find that scale. You have companies, we call them the hitchhikers. We have companies that are local gems, very, very good companies, very profitable, but they operate in a very small environment where they have an unnaturally large relative market share, and they are profitable with that. Will they survive or not? That's complicated. You also, of course, have, because it's retail, a constant churn of innovators who come with very exciting business models, but not always sustainable business models. And these guys sometimes, will be consolidated, acquired by other retailers, sometimes will disappear. The guys who are really the ultimate winners are what we call the scale fighters. Companies who are number 1 or number 2 in their local markets, are investing enough because they are profitable in innovation and technology and data acquisition to create the most innovative shopping experiences. And these guys, because they are doing this, are going to continue to sustain their profitable growth and actually have a chance to emerge as the dominant players of the future facing the ecosystem. So that's how we see the world of retail evolving. Frankly, when I say this story, I think we all realize that the years ahead will be challenging, exciting, at times exhausting. But what we are certain of at Bain is there will be also, these years will be a time of opportunity for everybody who really finds the right strategy in front of them. Well, for us, we see, regardless of which archetypes the retailers belong to, we see 5 imperatives. We believe every retailer should strengthen their differentiation and invest in creating very innovative experiences for their customers. They also should obsess with the customers and their experiences, and they should boost traffic through distinctive marketing. They should find the fuel to increase their investment levels By cutting costs smartly, by engaging in M&A, and by partnering successfully, they should build some superior analytics capabilities and leverage data to automate more decisions. And finally, they should strengthen and speed up their innovation by embracing agile techniques, scaling them through the organization, and sometimes also applying some venture capital techniques. Well, the changing consumer, the exploding consumer demands are forcing everybody to rethink their models. The emergence of new business models coming from outside of the industry is bringing actually an extra amount of uncertainty and difficulty. These are the challenges that are forcing retailers, but also consumer goods companies to constantly be on the lookout for change and actually being the proactive actors of that change. Yeah. Well, one thing we are very convinced of at Bain & Company is that retailers and CPGs are on the same boat. And the question is whether over the next 10 years this will be a speedboat or a life raft. Now, the reality is retailers need large, growing, and powerful brands to thrive, and consumer products companies need the scale market access that retailers can provide them with. So there is a mutual interest in collaboration. So far, conflict has prevailed, and conflicts can create a little bit of additional profit for both sides over the next 3 years. Our conviction is over the next 10 years, the 10-year horizon, this is not the right solution. Collaboration is the right solution. And at this forum, I think the winners of the future will be those who actually collaborate across the aisle early on and try to find better product offerings, better consumer experiences, better shopper experiences. Well, frankly, if people had told us 10 years ago that you would have so much of our shopping that was done online today, we wouldn't have believed them. So it's very difficult to project what the next 10 years will be, but we can imagine a world where 20% of our grocery shopping is done online, where more than 50% or 90% actually of all the shopping is done on a mobile phone, where 50% of that 90% is voice activated. We can imagine a world where in 80% of the countries, plastic packaging is banned and we have to find other solutions. So there are a number of things that we can predict today. Whether it will happen in 5 years, 8 years, or 10 years is difficult to say, but we know that this change is coming. And one thing is for sure is the business models that will thrive tomorrow are not exactly the business models that we know today. We have to anticipate that something new will continue to emerge.